Might it be, just going to float a theory here, that these affluent owners in Napa, the same ones who blocked native son George Lucas from building, museums for the community, and who blocked George Lucas from building a studio up in the area up there north of the Golden Gate Bridge, these maniacs are so rich and entitled that maybe the idea that somebody who could only afford 1/8 of a Napa home would be showing up for their vacation in Napa. Might that have something to do with it, you think?
Again, I can't speak for what's driving or motivating the people who don't really like our concept. But what I can tell you, again, back to the facts, what I can tell you is our average home price is $4 million. So when we first started hearing the feedback from the community, I mean, the number one thing that we heard was that we were taking homes away from the local workforce, affordable homes away from the local workforce.
It's so disingenuous.
We did buy one house for $1.2 million, which was twice the median in the neighborhood that we bought in. We heard from the community, acknowledged that probably wasn't the right property for our model, and we chose to sell the house, outright. And a second homeowner, I think, actually ended up buying it. But all of our homes now, like our average home price is $4 million. So these are not affordable homes. That's for sure.
Yeah.
These are homes that would have otherwise been purchased by second homeowners. If you just look at the numbers and the percent of people who are purchasing these multi-million-dollar homes, they're second homeowners. And so we think it's a much better use of housing stock to consolidate demand into fewer homes. But the other thing that we think is really powerful is the sort of the transfer of the demand that's happening through this model. All the people who are coming into the Picasso model, like these are not families who just woke up like last week and decided that they wanted to own a second home. These are families who had been dreaming about owning a second home for a long time, many years in most cases. And most of them are actively in the market, working with a real estate agent or shopping on Redfin or Zillow for a home already. And if it weren't for Picasso, many of these second homeowners would be buying median priced homes.
They would buy the $600K, $1 million home and take it away from a school teacher, a firefighter, an accountant, somebody who, is getting priced out of these markets. I think that these NIMBY people have the worst intent in the world. I think that they bought their houses early. They've seen them appreciate in value, and they delight in there being limited inventory, and they delight in there being no other option, because it makes their most prime asset, their home, their second home that they got in early, appreciate in value. And they are so anti-community that they don't want certain demographics to be next door to them. I think that's what a lot of this is about, I'll be totally honest. And I think they want to protect their investment, which is reasonable, except these are homes and people need a place to live and people need a place to have their second homes. They got particularly vicious with you in Napa. Maybe you could talk a little bit about some of the, and I know your media people and PR people don't want you to talk about this, but they got a little edgy with you up there. Tell us, what did they do to try to stop you? They made it pretty personal.
Yeah, well, I should clarify that it's not everybody. Like we have, I mean, we're in 25 destinations now across the US and a lot of people are really welcoming their new neighbors with open arms. Like I was just in Aspen last week for the Food and Wine Festival where we had some activities going on for Picasso, and I actually got to meet one of our neighbors. She came out of she basically came over to our property, introduced herself, and she opened up by saying, "Thank you so much. These homes surrounding me, I've been living here in Aspen for 30 years, and all these homes on my street sit empty for 10 months per year. I'm so thankful to have neighbors and friends and members of the community that previously weren't here." So it's not everybody, but you're right that some neighbors aren't quite as welcoming. And
they basically put up like signs and cars and banners that Picasso was destroying Napa and Sonoma.
Yeah, I mean, we've had threats to burn down our houses.
That was the crazy thing in the NPR story.
Yeah,
that was like, because once I found out about you, I Googled you because I was going to invite you on the show, and I DM'd you on Twitter, I think, and then I saw the NPR story, and I was like, oh my God, they threatened to burn the house down. This is how deranged these sociopaths are. These NIMBY sociopaths.
We've had threats that we should be shot.
Literal physical violence. I mean. Yeah. Not only property violence, but shooting you. This is deranged. And you know what? It is because you won't say it. I will. They think that people who are not white people are going to come to Napa and own an eighth of a home who couldn't previously afford it. That's what this is about. I'm sorry. And they're just also concerned that maybe if you're a more affordable solution, when they want to flip their house, they won't have a buyer because somebody say, oh, this is more efficient. But they should be thinking, these NIMBY sociopaths, what they should be thinking is, what kind of society do I want to live in? One where people can't afford homes and people have to suffer and have to live an hour and a half away and all this inventory dries up. We need a solution. Picasso is a great solution. Take the win, Napa. Other places.
Yeah, we think. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say we definitely think it's a great solution. I mean, it'll take time for people to understand any new concept, as you mentioned in the opening, Jason. Like anything I've ever been a part of or seen that was doing something new and interesting faces some resistance, and it takes time for people to fully understand and appreciate the concept. And I think co-ownership is one of those things that'll just take some time. And we're going out of our way to try to communicate as well. Like, we want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem here. Like, as an example, in one of our properties this weekend, we hosted a pancake breakfast, to get to know our owners. Our chief revenue officer stayed at the home. He hand cooked every single pancake by himself. He handed out flyers to every neighbor on the street, as well as the neighbors on the adjoining street, and just invited them over from 9 to 11 a.m. just to have a conversation and get to know us. And guess how many people showed up?
You tell me.
0.
Fascinating.
0. So, we're trying to have the conversations. We want to be part of the solution, but we also realize that it'll take time for this concept to be understood.
Listen, right now, LinkedIn is going to give you $100 credit towards your first ad campaign. I want you to go to linkedin.com/thisweekinstartups and get that $100 right now. Now, why would you use LinkedIn marketing? High quality leads. We all need leads. We're all running businesses here. My leads, startup founders. Your leads might be SaaS enterprise. It might be CFOs. It might be CMOs. It might be CTOs. Who knows? Everybody's got a different product, but everybody is on LinkedIn. We all know that because we all use LinkedIn every single day. So if you're planning to launch a new campaign, you know your audience, your team is excited, and everything is going according to plan. We've all been there, except you have that one thought in the back of your head. How can I be sure that my acquisition campaign will drive high impact leads for my sales team? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you don't need to guess, because when you advertise on LinkedIn, your message reaches people who are ready to engage you. LinkedIn equals business, business equals LinkedIn. You know this, it's very simple. So with 30 million companies engaging and over 71% of professionals using LinkedIn to inform their business decisions, LinkedIn can help bring your growth to the next level. Don't wait. Just start achieving your brand and lead gen goals. Get a $100 ad credit toward your first LinkedIn campaign at linkedin.com/thisweekinstartups. Once again, linkedin.com/thisweekinstartups for the $100. No spaces, no dashes. And terms and conditions apply because they're giving you $100.